Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Arcade Tokens podcast. We are the Arcade Tokens. I am the anomaly Will Ferro.
Theo Thomas, aka Mr. Slick Living.
I'm Patrick Cloud. Y'all remember the Know Ya clap?
Yeah, of course. Great song. Okay.
Yeah, I was just asking.
Random thought of the day.
Very random thought of the day, man. But that was a great way to have a brief control of the podcast. And speaking of controls, that is the first level that we're getting into. Level 1, busting in early with it. I want to know from y'all, best and worst video game controller.
I'll go first. Best video game remote controller currently in the market, feels great to hold it right now, is the DualShock 4 for the PlayStation 4. Through the years, I think the PS2 and PS3 were very similar. They weren't a big change between the two, other than the PS3 maybe having the ability to have like the axis where you could like rotate through.
Yeah.
Dual access, like that was really it. It had a motion control sensor in it, which we never really used. I know they made games for it, but we never really took advantage of it. But then the PS4 rolls out, and the DualShock 4 remote controller is a lot more slimmer. Yeah, this is for sure the best one that fits right in your hands. I think this is like an undeniable champion of remote controllers, especially current gen. Worst remote controller of all time? The Nintendo Wii Nunchaku, or Nunchuck, whatever the hell you want to call it. Yes, you originally just had a remote controller, right? Here's a remote control. Here's your remote controller.
Wow.
And you can use the controller as much as you want. You know, you could aim at your screen, or you could turn it sideways and use it. As you can see, there's a D-pad right there at the very top.
So
One and two, A and B, and then you had a third A there. Then you had a Z trigger underneath it over here. Okay, maybe. And then when you wanted to have the ability to have the feel of a full remote controller, you then had to attach something to the bottom of it, and it was a long string, and then this was just your analog stick over here, guys. Here's your remote controller.
You didn't play Wii Bowling? So you're saying you didn't play Wii Bowling?
I played Wii Bowling with only the left remote controller right there, that. I didn't have to use the one on the right.
You didn't do the boxing one where you had to do both of them, like Wii Sports?
Used it, but didn't enjoy it.
No.
Well, wait. So are you talking about just the thing on the right, or you just think the whole thing is trash?
No, just the thing on the right. The fact that in order to have a real remote control feel for the Nintendo Wii, you got to plug in that right analog thing to the actual remote.
I think played Mario Galaxy. Let's just get it out of the way now. He doesn't know.
I didn't have a Nintendo Wii, so was there like a regular like controller like the PS4? Like, was there a regular like Nintendo Wii controller?
There was the classic controller. They called it the Nintendo Classic Controller.
Nah.
It was made for when you played, like they used to release retro games on the Wii.
Yeah.
The reware games, so you could.
Those came later, didn't they?
Huh?
Those came a little bit later, though, right?
A little bit later, for sure. But yeah, it was called the Wii Classic Controller.
It was basically the exact same rollout as the Switch. It was what led to the Switch. This, if you imagine, when you got a Wii, you got the little sensor bar. You put that underneath your TV, and you basically could use that thing on the left as like a remote control. So you kind of aimed at it. You know, it was motion censored, and you could also turn it to the left and use it as a controller, which was incredibly dope. But there were some games that required you to add this thing that you plugged in, which was that thing on the side, and that gave you sort of like separate controls, but they were together, kind of like the Switch, how you could play them like on different pieces and they feel like it's one. Yeah. And some things you had to do that, like boxing. They added like an extra element. So I thought it was dope. I thought it was really innovative, and it's literally what led to. It was like the first of 3 steps that led up to the Switch.
For sure. I definitely see that as like the alpha testing and like, yo, let's see if the consumer likes it. We did. It helped get us to where we are today with the Nintendo Switch. But it's just something about having to connect that other piece and not having a solid remote controller. I had buttons on this side and buttons on this side.
That's tight.
Separation right down the middle. I could have just hung it around my neck and just been like this. Come
Well,
on,
it made you think for the first time that your controllers didn't have to be together, because there's no instance that your thumb goes over to the D-pad or like the L, which would be ridiculous.
I get it.
They don't really need to be together. So I like it. Nintendo does something dope and innovative every time they have a drop, which is
Okay. So Pat, you seem pretty up about this right now. How about you?
I'm arguing everybody here today.
Okay, well then go. Well then, why don't you let us? Well then, no. Since you're arguing everybody, I'm gonna go.
Yes, please go second.
So the best controller for me is going to be the original Sega Genesis controller. So just coming from the squared one and with the Super Nintendo, like it was great for hand dexterity. Like you see, it was very simple, ABC, no flash or anything like that. But this was something that allowed you to play Sega Genesis for hours. And so like a lot of the video games had like, say like Lion King and Aladdin, like if you died, you had to start over. But you didn't have to worry about like your hands starting to hurt, having to worry about, oh, I got to come do things like this. And it actually had like a lot of really like good dexterity. And not only that,
You
just
say that word one more time.
Hey man, I love the fact that I know the word dexterity when it comes to hands. I'm gonna always throw it out. Like white people throw out, I went to Harvard. You're like, I went to Harvard, right? Y'all know they teach that to them?
What?
To put on
say,
for the
like
school?
to throw Harvard in everything that they say.
Well, us at Harvard like to think that it's us building our brand and helping the ability to put other people on.
Promo.
Yeah. So like being a man from Harvard, I would have to say the controller that I disliked,
Good promo.
was the Nintendo 64 controller. Trash can juice on a hot summer day in Detroit.
Talk about innovative, though. Come on, Will.
Very innovative, but ridiculous. Because here's the thing. I hated that you always had to choose a side. Like your hand switch ups was too much when it came to this controller. This controller was in no way meant for you to play it all as one. So you were either, if you play Mario Kart, you were on the little analog and your hand was over here with the buttons being able to play. There's no way you can switch out going to the D-pad and then going to analog in just one swift motion. This stuff was so complicated for no reason at all. And then it was like the Z button in the back that was never necessary. The only time I used the Z button was in Duke Nukem to blow stuff up, or the special in Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
That sounds like exactly what that button is needed for.
That could have easily been one of these yellow buttons.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart I thought was the top button.
That's how you shot in Mario Kart.
Look, so dumb that they switched it up and switched just was like, this Z button is useless. Get it out of here. Never saw it again either.
My argument about your best remote or your favorite remote, the Sega Genesis one, was originally there's no select button. And then I just realized on the N64, there's no select button.
You don't need that.
Damn.
You don't need no select button. What you selecting? Start. Go.
Yeah, I don't really know what we used to use select for.
I don't either. I don't really think I use like... They make this separate button for select for like PlayStation now, of course, it's share. When do we use share?
Okay, in PlayStation's defense, though,
That's
Twitter had just began. So they're like, yo, everyone wants to share. Let's share the gameplay footage. Let's share the games they just downloaded. It's going to help with marketing organically. Come on.
That just lets you know this button really ain't needed. And they were just like, yo, we don't do nothing with select. Let's turn it to share. That was actually smart, though. Like, I'm not knocking PlayStation for that. That's actually very smarter than just select, which we do nothing for. Now it is functional now.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not going to say anything about Nintendo 64. I'm going to let that slide for now. All I'm going to say is that the Genesis controller had something that I hated with video game controllers, and that's when the D-pad was like slightly connected on that circle. You know what I mean? Like, I think Nintendo and PlayStation were smart to separate the I know that in Nintendo they were still all connected, but it didn't have the like in between stuff.
Yeah.
But PlayStation was really the ones to kind of like individualize the D-pad buttons, and I think that made it really really precise as opposed to all that in between. It was like webbed fingers. It was weird. You know what I mean? Like you could press down on the entire thing. But yes, I'm not gonna say anything about the Nintendo 64 controller. I'll let it slide.
Okay, all right. Well, those are my controllers. So, Pat, of course, you now have the floor. What is your best and worst controller?
All right. Well, for somehow I don't know how we got mixed up. Me and Cleo ended up having the picking.
Same
We both
best.
picked the same thing. So I'm gonna throw a little audible together, and I'm gonna say that the best controller was the Nintendo 64 controller. I'm not letting a dang thing slide. All right, so let me break down why Will is wrong. All right, I think that this controller was really, really important for a couple reasons.
Okay.
The main reason is priming. The reason why, if you've been gaming your whole life, you could pick up a Nintendo controller, and you have a feel for where the buttons are. The same way if you've been playing PlayStation your whole life, you kind of have a feel of what X is, what square is, what circle is. That's because games did a really good job at sort of like priming us to what certain buttons do certain controls, right? And that's why when Call of Duty blew up, now all shooters sort of have somewhat around that layout to make sure that we're not like completely switching our playstyle just because we're switching games.
Okay.
So with that said, I think that Nintendo is the gaming company that everybody is looking at with their notepad. Sony and Xbox, as good as they are, everybody's looking at Nintendo as not only the biggest, but I say this word a lot, but the most innovative of the gaming companies. And for somehow they were able to switch up every controller with every console and do something new and try something else out and still get us to sort of know the layout, even though PlayStation sort of had the same controller their whole career. Xbox had the same controller. Like, you could see that they were priming us, like, that middle part, that's the nunchuck. And I know that's a bad example because that's what Cleo said he hated the most. But that sort of, like, trigger with the Z on the back, that was basically taken off and put in the nunchuck. So even though it was weird for you to, like, plug them together, you still knew how to do it automatically because of the Nintendo 64. So just the forward thinking to not only be like, okay, let's get a joystick and D-pad, but they just have to switch hands, which ended up not being so practical, but it was still a cool shot. And they added the C buttons for extra options, but they still kept the AB from the last controller. I think that it was like a really dope stepping stone for then they broke it apart and did the Wii, and now we have the Switch, which is like a combination of all of them. Like, I think they did a really good job trying stuff, but also like pushing the gaming culture forward. And I know that's just a long-winded answer to say that they're dope.
But what you're basically saying is it was the pre-trash to a trash controller.
Okay.
It's still well, he's saying the Wii was trash, so the little nunchuck thing was useless, and so just to now see even in here that was pretty useless to put in there.
What
now? Though in the little icon with the Z, that wasn't really necessary.
Which one, on this or the Wii?
Both, to be honest. Like, I don't think it was a necessary function to have on the controller. But I will agree with you when you do say Nintendo was very innovative in everything that they have done. And it did get you out of your safety net of controllers. Because even though, like you said, everything you said is true when it comes to that. Because like you said, going to the Wii, your hands already knew to do that because of the 64. Does that make it dope?
Hell yes, it does. And then on top of everything, they stunted on everybody real quick, pivoted to the GameCube, made a classic controller that everybody unanimously still uses and thinks is one of the best ones. So they're just like, okay, just for any naysayers, see, right? And not in arm's distance. They made it to be cordless. They brought it back with new technology. Nintendo pivoted, hit that shit, and then came back and then gave us the Wii and then the Wii U and now the Switch. Like, Nintendo's out here.
the crappiest of controllers, and then if this wasn't the worst one, that is the George Bush Jr. of the controllers, GameCube. I'm just like, why? You just look at it.
GameCube is beautiful. The GameCube controller is beautiful. But then that brings me to the worst.
What's the worst, Pat?
The worst is the good old, the original big black box, the black box in a plane, the shoe box, the microwave, the speaker system, the Wi-Fi router taped to another Wi-Fi router, the black acoustic guitar, the infamous car engine, the Xbox One control. Oh my goodness!
God, why did you get that image, ladies and gentlemen? For those watching the audio version, if you could just see the image that's on here, you can check it out on our Arcade Tokens YouTube channel. Wow. Why did they use that fisheye lens view? That is not out of control.
That's exactly how
worse.
No, it doesn't.
It's worse than I remember. It is worse than I remember. It
God.
looks like, it literally looks like a Sidekick phone got a Sega Genesis controller pregnant. And then it just, this is like right before it gave birth. Oh God, it's just awful. I remember just noticing my hands are really far apart. Like, you want to talk about a precursor to the Wii controller? It was this, because this got us used to our hands being nowhere near each other. The buttons were just, you could just see like the colors were off. I don't really,
the colors are off.
Nigga. First of all, black and green, that whole like energy drink. I don't really like when that color wave is pushed.
So you don't like Green Lantern? That's what you're saying? You're not a Green Lantern fan?
No, they throw in a bunch of other shades like white and stuff. The straight up
green and black
monster branding, not a fan of it. And then you throw in these bright primary colors. It just was not.
It's the same colors on a Nintendo.
It's literally like a Dell. If Dell made a controller.
Oh God!
Like, this is the Dell of the
of the overall angle of it too, Will. Like, it was a bad angle. Like, the actual edges to the hands, like here, look at it on that. It's like you'd end up like this. Like, Pat's not lying. Your hands would end up literally angled and cocked like this.
First of all, that is not an accurate picture of
oh my God.
This is not a fun time.
I don't appreciate this. If you feel how you feel about it, bless you. But this is not an accurate image of the original Xbox controller. Though
it's not accurate?
No, it is not. But I will say what you have said is very accurate about the controller.
Look how arrogant they were. Look how much real estate, just the symbol in the middle.
For the branding alone.
Bro, look how small. This is just like, by the way, PlayStation. You have the controller already. You bought it, okay? You know what it is. They had a whole billboard.
It didn't work either. That was the thing. Like, it wasn't like you could press it and that cuts it on, like they have like now, as they've done. That didn't even work. It was just Xbox. Like, I don't want to see this.
Now, I did hate the fact that the logo was so big on the remote controller. I got to give it to Xbox for at least adapting with the times, and Will, like you just holding up. The fact that their D-pad, as Pat was saying earlier, he hated the fact that they would be circled off like the old Sega Genesis. At least they updated and made sure to go to like a more, single defined D-pad. But Jesus.
Kadeem said, "Oh, I got the wrong picture, huh? An inaccurate picture. Well, this is worse, and this looks like it was thrown up on eBay. So I know there was no.
Oh man! It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what colorway you put it in. It doesn't matter. It's a terrible remote controller.
God,
this was not sexy. I will say that this was not sexy. I wanted to call it what they call BBWs, but we can't call it that. What you
am I wrong for remembering that the cable that went to the console had like a black?
It was big as hell. Yeah, it was
giant thing.
Yeah, even that small of a thing pissed me off, bro. It's like cord,
it weighed too. Like it weighed down. Like it really weighed down too. Like it wasn't no like light thing either. It was just like those that you see on like a monitor power block and stuff. And I'm just like,
Did the cord like disconnect right before that part? Like it was in two parts?
that I don't remember.
That would be funny if it was. I don't remember if that is it, but if that is what it was built
I
for,
think that was. I think you're right. I think it did disconnect. There was a spot where it disconnected as well.
I feel like if you yanked it out of the Xbox, it could have come out before the part. Because you're right, it was really thick when you put it in, and then there was like a little part, and then the rest of the plug, kind of like how headphones sometimes do it. But it was just a lot. Now, with that said, it's crazy how much I enjoyed Xbox One though, because that's when I had both. I didn't have a team. I was just like blah 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 blah. And then when I started seeing everything past by the time it was the 360 happened, I was out.
yeah.
Is that a commercial?
Oh,
What is up, everybody? Brandon Tyrell here.
Sorry.
Is that me? Oh, okay.
Sorry, fellas. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I was going to say also that they re-released this, right? Like we all know that this controller came out in 2018 again
For what?
for the Xbox One.
Kadeem, stop doing this. Stop
You do
doing
realize this happened again.
like
They released it.
Let me see the can you pull up the
The re-release? Sure.
yeah, let's see how they learned.
So
I want
all they did was they you know that big ass spot in the middle?
Yeah.
They turned that into a LED screen. I thought that was cool.
I must inquire.
Do you though? Do you need to? You can't
And
use
guess who made it? And they actually won a game award in 2018 for guess what? Best gaming controller.
Really?
You know
They
what it
really
looks
did that.
it looks like what superheroes like chest plates look like on Injustice. Like that's the upgrade.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the freaking first Xbox controller. They didn't do anything. That is just as bad. That's upgraded trash.
Yep. They just polished that turd.
Upgraded trash?
They put a screen in the middle of it and was just like, here you go.
Oh no.
Okay. I mean,
They
well,
they try to capitalize on nostalgia heavy, and I'm sorry, nah.
Oh no.
Look at their branding rollout. The big guy's back. Really?
So they knew that we thought it was too big and capitalized off of that. Yeah, you're right. It is too big. What?
why did you not even think to change the D-pad? Like clearly no one likes the D-pad.
Oh, the D-pad is horrendous. I can't believe I didn't talk about that. That's the worst version of what I was talking about. With the web like connections. That's rough.
Okay, well, Pat, if you could like, I think that'll round off this first level. I think we have more than enough coins and points collected from the back of these controllers to level up. So if you would, please, Mr. Cloud.
Yeah, so as you guys know, the podcast is set up in 3 levels. The last, of course, being the boss level. The second level that we have planned for today is who is the worst father in video game? Oh no, excuse me, just in entertainment.
Yeah.
Let's go back. That's not even the level, right?
Yeah, let's do that one because the boss level should be the fight, the team. That is actually better.
Got it. Okay, cool. So the next level, level 2 of the Arcade Tokens podcast is who is the worst father in entertainment. Now, obviously, there's a lot, but the ones we are going to focus on is Goku. Notoriously not the best dad, right? Kratos. Kind of rough around the edges. Would hate to have Kratos as a dad. We have Darth Vader.
Okay.
Horrible dad. Literally cut his son's arm off and tried to kill him. And then we have, for me, what makes this unanimous. We have Heihachi Mishima from Tekken, who is just in the opening credits. You haven't even played the game yet for the first time, and you just hate this guy.
The worst.
So, what do you guys think? gentlemen. What do you think? Who is going to go down in history as just the worst? I guess we could say animated.
All right. Let's line this out. We got, as you said, Goku. Goku is basically fighter of the world, kind of the universe. Um, Kind of in and out the kid's life. Death then kind of stricken him, then threw his kids into the battle of saving him. Let his nemesis basically raise his kid as a toddler. Who was the next one? Kratos. Kratos first up killed his first kid and his
Yep.
wife, and
Automatically puts him
yeah,
up there.
and had to wear them throughout most of his saga. Then went and destroyed everything in Greece, moved to North mythology, and had another kid who we don't really
Yeah.
know what happened to his mother, and didn't even give him a name, just boy. That was it. Just
Hit him
and
with the
y'all,
bird box, huh?
yeah, y'all seen what he did with his kid throughout most of that, and then we had what was the other one?
Vader.
Vader. We can see what kind of whatever intergalactic PCP he started smoking and led to him getting his legs cut off, burnt to a crisp, and then having his kids have weird feelings for each other and fainting off the dark side, and then eventually killing off Jedi's too. And then lastly, Heihachi. Don't have to really say much about him. Threw his son off a cliff just
Man.
for no reason. It's just
Expected
like,
to die, yeah.
yeah, the weather is 86.
He made generational assholes because his son did the same thing to his son. So
Yes.
he just made generational pain. I think the easiest way to do this is to see which one of these guys has the most good in them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Let's measure how good they are and intentions. For me personally, I think that the fact that Goku wasn't around because he was either training to fight to protect the Earth or fighting someone who was blowing the Earth up meant that he wanted to save his family, who was also on Earth, and the fact that he died for Gohan and Gohan was alive, ended up being a living character. That automatically takes Goku out of here,
Yeah,
just because the
Thumbs up to
intention.
that. I agree.
If you put all of them in a room together, Goku would be like, "Geez, you think I'm?" These are all villains, pretty much.
Not that bad, guys. Get his
and
ass out.
also to throw in there too, Goku was very young too, so the responsibility of parenting, like before, like he had like go on throughout the years to, of course, getting older, and then two, he's a Saiyan, so it's in his nature to just want to kind of train and fight and kind of be like the way he is. So
Right.
I would say too, like in this category, not the worst of them.
They're humans.
Darth Vader. I want to talk about Darth Vader for a second. Obviously, we know the story of Luke and Leia. Anakin went on a trip. Anakin was on a power trip. Something changed in the man. He didn't want to be on the light side no more. He wanted to go to the dark side. He felt he needed to be able to save Padme because he was having visions that she was going to pass anyway, right? She has kids. They hide the kids from him. Later on down the line, after he's been tearing up the entire, galactic universe, he comes across another Skywalker, his son. He chops his arm off. The only thing I feel that saves that saves Anakin in this argument is the fact that he did redeem himself before passing away. He did toss off the real head honcho puppet master, the evil Lord Palpatine, over the goddamn bar and killed him to save his son. So I feel that redeems Vader. So he's good to go.
And he does do that in the video game too.
Nice.
But do you think that puts Vader ahead of Kratos, who only killed his family because he was under a spell and didn't know it was them, and he was completely enraged, and when he found out he did kill his family, and that was like the fueling fire that was like his hate because he was so guilty. And when he when he had his other kid, even though that he was stern and and he was kind of rough with him, he still did everything he could to protect him.
Exactly. So my question is, what's the lesser of the two evils? Because I'm pretty sure Anakin did kill some Jedi kids. He did.
Merc.
Kratos was a whole warmonger, like criminal.
Right.
in that era. So I'm pretty sure he killed some kids too. He burned down some villages. So what's the lesser of evils? You get your head cut off with a lightsaber, or you get chopped to bits by Kratos?
But the argument isn't who's a better person. Kratos, they both of them were war generals and killed probably a lot of people off camera.
Yep.
But in terms of being a dad, does that affect his child? Well, I guess it would, right?
I would say yes, and
Father.
I would say here's why you could X out Vader, because Vader wasn't in his kid's life. Like his decisions led to him being separated from them, which kind of almost in a way is being a better father than having them mixed up in there. Because if he is a Jedi, he knew his kids were out there. And he chose to not go bother them. Like he could have been ran up on them if he wanted to.
Go bother them. It seems like you're arguing for him being the worst dad.
No. I'm saying no. Think about it. He could have raised them to become Siths, and then that's even really more messed up because you've raised them to become evil, and then not bring any good into this world.
But
if we're in theory, then if he knew that his kids was out there, maybe he didn't go get them because he knew the type of lifestyle he was living, what he was gonna go do.
Exactly. So he was just like, let me spare them of that. That's some good parenting.
That sound like a deadbeat's trump card excuse. Like, man,
No.
I didn't want to include him.
No, we're just saying out of the lesser of two evils. Kratos knew what he was doing. Like Kratos chose to be this greedy war, bloodluster type of person. Yeah. And so even seeing with like how he treated his son, all of this seems to probably going to be the same outcome. So he chose the path that he was doing and what he led to do. So I would say it would be between Heihachi and Kratos. But if we're just really being honest in this level of the game, you said it at the beginning, Pat. It really is unanimous. Like this dude, first of all, beat his kid up on a cliff for not being able to beat him up, and then was like, let me just throw you off a cliff. Didn't even check to see if he was alive. Like, this should have done it.
His whole thing was if he's strong enough to climb up, then he's worthy enough to be my son. So there we have, first of all, attempted murder off top. Full intent. He knew what he was doing. He was like, here, little baby, I know I just told you what martial arts was 2 weeks ago, but boom, you climb for your life. And which messed that dude up so much. Not only did he train his whole life just for the pure reason of hatred, he did the same thing to his kid and put Jin through that. So it's like Heihachi is just, man, worlds above these guys.
Generational curses are a real thing. Apparently, when you are a Mishima descendant. Heihachi was on some bullshit since Tekken 1 graphics, bro.
Damn.
He tossed Kazuya off a cliff. The kid had to be like 8 or 9 years old.
Ridiculous.
This kid was just, that's it, revenge. I want his head. And it's crazy part, like, has he succeeded? Did Kazuya ever actually succeed in getting his revenge?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
That's the weird part.
I think so. I mean, I've played Tekken 7. I think he ended up finishing that. Mind you, Lee Chaolan is the adopted son of Heihachi, and just
the dude with the gray hair,
just
right?
To piss him off, just to piss Kazuya off. He was like, "I'm gonna get another son."
Damn.
But it's like, yo, why?
Because
what did this kid do to go like, you know what? I got something for you, Slim.
The thing is, I think because Kazuya had the devil in him. Legit, he had the devil in him.
Kazuya's mama was on some Oni demon shit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is that why he threw him off?
I don't know if that's the exact reason, but I'm pretty sure like that had something to do with it because he knew what he was gonna turn into.
So here's my thought process.
Either way,
demons inside a kid, rather than like, hey, why don't I be nice to him and show him like the good path and the discipline and like what martial arts can teach you? No, let me throw you off a cliff. This for sure won't bring the demon out of you.
Well, not demon, devil.
Yeah,
that's a little different. So there have been babies that were drowned because they thought that there was a little bit of devil in them. So I don't know, but I mean, either way, it doesn't really excuse Heihachi. I feel
No.
like he comes in first place.
First place, Heihachi. Give that man the award.
However,
Oh,
I don't want to do this to you guys, but I say we rank them. So now, Heihachi's first place, Goku's fourth place. Now we got to see who is second, who is third.
the
Who
lesser.
is coming in at second place between Vader and Kratos? Who's the worst dad?
I'm going with Kratos second and Vader third.
Why?
Vader was brainwashed. Kratos was not. That man made those decisions.
When was Vader was brainwashed?
Mm-hmm.
By who?
The Palpatine.
When he attacked Luke, or the whole time?
Yeah, that's what your apprentice, like as an apprentice, like that, this is what I got from the story and why they tell you not to go to the dark side. I could be wrong, but from what I had saw was that like when you have like you're the apprentice, you're under like their force trance, like their energy is connected. Y'all are connected, and so basically you really can't go against them. So you kind of have to bend to their will.
I thought Vader's whole thing was going against. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like he made those shitty decisions himself.
But I mean, he could have. But again, too, if you see it, Palpatine was always whispering in his ear to do stuff. Like even when he was walking up to kill him, you could hear like those voices in his head, kind of like talking to him and stuff.
Yeah, but that's just your boss, you know.
He was easily manipulated. We could say the same thing for
that's a better
Kratos.
way
We
to
could
say
say
it.
the
That's
same
a
thing
better
for
way.
Kratos, though. In Jedi lore or Sith lore, I'm pretty sure it's
There you
teacher and student, and I think the student always has to end up killing the teacher in their world somehow, some way, to then become the actual Sith master or Jedi master, however the hell you want to put it. But both of these characters on this list, who we're trying to rank 2 and 3, were both easily manipulated. I don't know who's the lesser of two evils, but in my opinion, Heihachi's the worst, Kratos 2, Vader 3, Goku 4th. Goku ain't killing no babies.
Goku's just a deadbeat.
Unless they're Cell Juniors.
I don't know.
Them ain't kids. Them robots. No, them robots. He just a deadbeat. That's why he's like at the bottom. That's really it. Like as far as not paying any child support and having your kids and your wife live out in the fucking forest and just in a small hut.
Quick argument though, really quick, just throw it in there. Vader only got to redeem himself at the very end of his life, right? Kratos is having a whole other family and raising this child. So does that switch it up? Is it a timing thing?
I think it switches it up because if we're going to use the whole mind control thing, that's a speculation. Kratos was actually like being possessed when he killed his family and his village. Like he thought it was what was it? Who was the god of war at the time?
Ares.
Ares made him think that they were his enemies, and he killed everybody. And then he released the spell, and then he saw what he did. And then the son that he got and had the choice to raise, he went up against all of Norse mythology while raising him and keeping him safe. So I think between him being under a spell when he killed his family, which he was trying to protect, and then actually, redeeming himself with his son, that's more than Darth Vader did to me.
But see, think about it though. He made the choice to go do that. Like he had already had a family and was like, yo, I still want to go be this bloodlust warrior. And you know what it is, and everything comes at a price when you make a deal with the gods. You've seen that throughout all of that stuff. So it's just like, yo, you already had anticipated yourself to do this. Like at least, like again, I'm not giving like Darth Vader like no little slack or anything. I'm just saying from as far as his kid's sake wise, he knew he was evil enough to stay away from them.
Yeah, but Darth Vader was evil by choice. He wanted to do all that stuff he was doing. That was his goal.
So did Kratos, though. Kratos
was fighting somebody the whole time. Every game was just stress piled on Kratos. It was just like, I finally was about to do this. Zeus screwed me over. I was about to do this. This god screwed me over. Like he's been trying to do, he wasn't like trying, he's just been trying to get revenge. And people and gods have just been crapping on this poor man.
Why? Because I decided I wanted to be the big boss. I got screwed over. So rather than just killing Ares, because he could have stopped there. He was like, nope, I want to kill all the gods. That was his choice. He decided, I want to kill everybody. And
Which
then
is going against him. Vader did not go against the people who had him under a spell. He rolled with it.
Facts. And then even the fact that Kratos, before even getting the power of the gods, he was on that same level of bullshit.
right.
He was still burning down villages and was still out there at war.
Yeah, they just gave him a level up when he went talk to Ares. So eventually, too, think about it. Even if he didn't strike the blade, he would have been the responsibility for them dying because they would have eventually became a casualty of war.
Vader was doing that too.
Nah, Vader stayed away to the point where no one even knew that was his kids. Like he knew enough to where, like, yo,
I'm talking about going into villages and killing everybody. They were both doing the same stuff. One was
right,
but
we just talking about dad wise. So his outcome didn't affect his kids, as opposed to Kratos' outcome of doing the same thing affected his family.
How
They
so?
got him killed. They got him killed.
The boy dies?
No. I don't know about the boy, but even that. No, I don't know about the boy. I'm talking about the daughter and the mom. But even in the new one, when he's in Norse mythology, that's still from the ramifications of the choices he made in the first one. He destroyed all of Greece, and then they were just like, "Oh, so you God killing now? Well, then what's up? Square up. You gonna come over here and think it's all hot in our hood? Come square up." And it's just like, yo, had he just not tried to go on this rampage of killing gods, this wouldn't have happened.
It seemed like they'd be doing the same thing, but one was in their kid's life and one wasn't.
Lesser of two evils. You want to die by a lightsaber, or you want to die by these big ass blades that Kratos
Never
has?
Kratos. Never Kratos.
Okay, then. So
Slice my head off, one smooth strike. I'm good.
Lightsaber every time.
Every time. Dude, because I just feel like he'll go for your gut. It ain't even gonna be like a smooth hit with Kratos. It's right in the abdomen.
He rips open Minotaur's mouth. He fucking punches.
That's what I'm
Cyclops' eyes
saying.
out.
He goes out of his way to
Disgusting.
be brutal. He goes out of his way. He'll just find the nearest boulder and smash your head against it. Just like,
Fact.
geez. Never Kratos. Yeah.
Never.
But with all that said, we've ranked the worst fathers. We've talked about who is the worst of them all. So congratulations to Heihachi. So that has led us to our final level. Cleo, would you like to bring us in for this one?
So let me set up a scenario for you guys. You're leaving a basketball game, something of that nature. You had a great time. And all of a sudden there's a huge bang in the sky. And 3 of the most legendary video game bosses drop right in front of you. And they point right at you and they say, "You! It's you we're looking for." And they demand that you see them in combat. What do? Do you run at them head first? Huh?
Run.
Do you pray, or do you call for backup? Because you know you got 3 video game characters that are down to ride and rock for you with the universe on the line. That is why our boss level topic is, which 3 video game characters would you have fighting by your side in a back alley brawl for the universe? Patrick Cloud, let them know.
3 people, and I'm assuming I'm not in this fight. I'm just coaching. I'm choreographing.
Okay.
We Phil Jackson in this? That's what we doing?
Yeah, like Nick Fury. I'm pulling up on these 3 video game characters. Like, yo, I need you for a mission. Off top. That's a tough one. I feel like off top, I gotta go with Mr. Wesker from Resident Evil. I feel like his fighting scenes are second to none. The fact, what I've seen him do to people. If we're in a back alley and it's talking about hands, I feel like he could potentially take out everybody else on y'all's team by himself. So I have a lot of confidence in Mr. Wesker.
Okay.
I think the second one isn't gonna be fun to talk about. But it's It's a known fact what this guy can do in a slug off. I gotta go with my arch nemesis, Mr. Kirby himself. Just because Kirby
In a back alley brawl, though, Pat? Kirby?
in a back alley brawl. You can't hit him, Cleo. You can't kill him. You can't do anything to him. If anything, he's gonna be sucking your guys off in a back alley. And I mean that just in Nintendo lingo. He's gonna be using his sucky powers and be just copying all of your best traits in the first place. And he also has his hands. He can throw those quick lightning punches. He could turn into a giant weight and smash everybody. He got the hammer. It's just he can float. I mean, you can't beat him. Unless he's being controlled by Will Ferrell in Smash Bros. Alex Wesker, you already know what it is. You see him with the weird Instagram pose. But my third, it's got to be, since we were already in the Star Wars realm, it's got to be Star Killer, who is so powerful and dope that they didn't even want to make your boy canon. They didn't want to throw the whole series off. So I don't know. I'd like to see who you guys think would take them in a back alley.
You threw in Star Killer, ultimate OP character of all canon of canons. He's the worst in a sense. Great,
and the best.
But the worst. But exactly, great, but the worst. Wesker is a walking bioterrorist engineered being. At any moment, he could just stab himself in the arm and become stronger with some random ass power. He's quick, he's fast, he has red eyes, and he can shoot really well. Okay, Kirby is your trump card in all of this, in my opinion. Kirby's your trump card because you're right. You can't hurt his little Jigglypuff looking ass. He's a squishy ball who has tons of powers. Sword, tons of fists, a hammer. He can morph into, like you said, a weight or a block, and he could suck you off in the alley. Who wouldn't want to get sucked off by that cute face?
Hey, man. So what you're saying is I made one hell of a team, even one that can give happy endings. So who do you guys got against my A-list video game team? I mean, I don't know who you think got hands like this, but what up? Who's next?
Mr. Pharaoh?
You know, I'm gonna just say, in the words of a very funny comedian by the name of To Hear More, fuck you, Pat. Fuck you. Wow, I can't believe you went there with that. First of all, two of my favorite characters in video games, and he gonna put both of them on the team against me. But all right, I will go next. So one of the first I said that I was gonna have in a fight was no other than my boy, who people be sleeping on because they don't even want to. They can't even touch him because his powers are just so. People don't even know how powerful he is. They just be like, "Look, he good, but I don't be going over there." My boy, Colonel M. Bison.
Oh shit.
My boy Bison is pulling up. First of all, Bison is gonna give hands to any of them except Kirby. Kirby is still just that trump card right there.
You think Bison would beat Wesker up?
Man, he'll beat the brakes off of Weskers. Because remember, they both get powerful with fights and stuff like that. So those are my two combatants right there. Those are my two combatants. They gonna be, trust me, Bison don't lose. You can't never think of a time Bison took an L. So my boy Bison is up here taking care of my boy Alex. My next one is gonna be my boy Mario.
Oh my god.
Oh, Mario wiping out everybody. Why? Because Mario can do anything.
We should have made rules for this.
anything. Since you want to go get Star Killer, try to go fight him in Mario Galaxy, buddy. He's throwing your boy down a tube. Rap, not
You
coming
think
back.
Star Killer would cut Mario in half?
But again, he got to get to Mario first. Green 2, battle over. We don't even know where he is.
So he goes like this, Star Killer goes like this, and that green tube explodes.
But see, that works on humans, so I don't know how you're going to do that to Mario, but that's between you and the Sith that you serve. But then my last person I'm going with is my girl, one of probably the top female characters that people don't talk about, Bayonetta. Bayonetta is my third choice. Hey, look, you can say what you want, but you cannot
Pistol
tell me.
Heels? Pistol Heels is your third character you want in a back alley brawl.
Yeah.
You getting packed out.
I still ain't heard nothing that's stopping these attacks.
Packed out. That's what you heard.
Only thing I don't have a remedy for with these three is against Kirby. But your other two, done.
Wesker's taken out pretty much all three of these. If you don't think Wesker could beat up Mario, you're crazy.
How? Please explain. Mario has beaten everybody. Smash Bros. NBA Street. You've been a person that's on there. Mario can do anything. So that means Mario can beat anyone.
That's not true. With a fighting character, it depends on who's playing as them. So that makes no sense. Wesker could for sure kill Bayonetta. So that I'm not even worried about that. Star Killer would probably kill Bison or Mario with his lightsaber pretty easily. And then it's like Kirby could go against all three of them, if not one-on-one with whoever they don't want. So it's pretty. My team is too versatile for this, man. Get this childish shit.
What you mean? You say lightsaber. First of all,
this childish shit. That's coming from Patrick. Yo, that's
like
amazing.
Mario can't dodge a lightsaber. Like Mario don't have bombs. Like Mario don't have a whole army. And let's forget, Mario got money.
Exactly.
So,
We should have made rules, bro. Mario is
so
the
don't try to
ultimate
sit here
trump
like,
card.
oh, because he got lasers and infinite power. So does Bison. Bison has unlimited power.
What would Mario buy to defeat Wesker?
A nuke.
Enough people to kill Wesker.
Exactly. Like, it doesn't matter.
Buy the Umbrella Corporation just to fire that nigga so he can't have his drugs no more.
So we're talking about people inviting armies or buying other people. We're talking about a back alley brawl with these three people.
Yeah. So you mean to tell me that Mario doesn't have a transportational route to bring in other armies? Like the bomb and bullets, like Bowser, like they don't come together and he's like, yo, we gotta take this out. This is for the universe.
Every reason doesn't involve Mario. So you're saying he's a good coordinator.
No, I'm saying he would bring the heat. Let's not forget, he got the fire, he got his other suits. Like all Star Killer got is the Force and a lightsaber. Good luck against Nintendo. That's all I'm gonna say on that. If you think Star Killer can take Force? If you think he can take on Nintendo, then again, that's between you and the Sith.
I mean, if you think that Mario is just going to jump on Star Killer's head and kill him, then welcome to back alley brawls, because I think that would be the most adorable thing that Mario's ever done before he got jumped and stomped out by three people.
I mean,
we backyard brawling.
Solid Snake's ass. So
you said what?
We've seen him kick Solid Snake's ass. Let's not act like we haven't seen him fight real people.
I've seen Solid Snake kick his ass. It's really it's a fighting game. You can't really take every individual match as canon.
Yeah, but it's a fighting chance. Let's not say it's like, oh, lightsaber and he does this and he's out. You can say that about anybody that we pick if that's the case. I'm just giving you all his extras that he can come with.
But you've never seen him against the lightsabers, so you can't really say.
And you've never seen him against them Timberland boots.
All right. Great argument on both ends of this. I got to give it to Will for throwing in Mario into the mix. We've talked and discussed about how strong and OP Mario really is. We've discussed this before. We know that he's one of the GOAT characters. It's like nothing this guy can't do. You throwing in Kirby was a good trump card. I can't flex. Mario was the ultimate one. That's a total of 6 characters in this backyard brawl. I'm going to go ahead and throw in my 3 really quick. First person I'm calling up is Final Fantasy VII's protagonist, Cloud Strife. The Buster Sword comes and slams down. Boom. He looks at all 6 characters and be like, "This what you call me here for? These weak ass niggas?
Oh
Yo,
God.
bro, call Bahamut. Yo, Bahamut 0, Ifrit, Shiva, Remove, Knights of the Round Table Summon, Baron, Tifa, Vincent."
Cleo, I hate to tell you, but there hasn't been a person listed yet that can't beat up Cloud.
You said what?
There is not a person we have listed yet today that can't beat up Cloud.
I was just like, why?
I disagree.
Like you got to
disagree.
run this one.
I disagree.
I think
disagree.
Bayonetta can't take Cloud. Let's just get that out the way now.
Let's get that out the way right
Y'all
now.
gonna stop sleeping on Bayonetta. That's all I know.
I'm not
Bayonetta
here
right
to
now,
go
man.
heel, bro. Get her out of here. Stop
Will,
this.
That's not happening.
Bison
Number
is
2.
beating Cloud up. Wesker is beating Cloud up.
Ugh.
Kirby is beating Cloud up.
I don't know about that one. Number 2.
He's definitely sucking off Cloud. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, we
Kirby's
can get that out the
definitely.
way there. That's facts.
Number 2 on my list, Backyard Brawl, Mega Man X. With all of his powers and his ultimate armor. We're currently seeing him in his like regular phase. This is a guy who can use long range attacks. He'll be running on the walls, lighting folks up. You're not gonna get your hands on him.
That's dangerous in the alleyway too. Like that.
You
wind-
feel me? Very narrow path. Bro, he could drop napalm down the entire goddamn alley. It's over with. So boom, Mega Man X is up there, and my third and final person to add to this fight, who I believe is capable of way more hands than Wesker, is Mortal Kombat's own Shang Tsung.
Now you got somebody.
There's my trump. There's my trump card.
That's the trump card.
Tsung.
Oh, I
He
thought
could
Mega Man.
turn into any of your characters in this alley and have your powers.
Time out. Nope, that don't count. First of
How?
all, you have to take our soul in order for him to turn into us.
And
You
more
don't
Shang Tsung has
have
not been
soul.
killing every person he could turn into. He could turn into Raiden. He's never died.
That's
Yeah,
a good point, though.
Yes, he has.
No, he has not. He has not.
But that is a
Mortal Kombat
fatality, though.
9, in Mortal Kombat 9, Shang Tsung did have a move that he would literally, whoever he's fighting, he would literally take their power from the mid-fight and then start using them. It does happen.
That was in the early
power, but
Mortal
does he turn
Kombat too.
into them?
No, literally, no, he turns into them in the fight. He turns into them in the fight. But continue.
There's early Mortal Kombats where they do that too.
There's a few of
Yeah.
them.
Okay, I'm just checking. I'm
There's
again,
my
I'm
trump
going
card.
off of the fiction
He's
of it.
ditto.
Like, okay,
He's ditto. Here's what I think would happen. I think that these 3 people would land in the fight.
Okay.
You'd hear clink, 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 and then out of nowhere you'd realize that Cloud and Mega Man are already dead.
Wow.
Because Cloud was just over his head. He didn't bring enough potions or mega potions or whatever. He's drinking like 3 gallons of fight. I kid you not. He gets hurt so fast. He's drinking so much per every fight. And then a lightsaber would just cancel Mega Man out pretty quickly. So then it's like, where's Shang Tsung? Shang Tsung, by this point, turned into one of the people on me and Will's team, so that he was hiding. So we would just be like, Cleo's gone. And then we look over and we think there's 2 Marios.
You know, he turned into Luigi and just showed up and was like, "What's
He's
up?"
just like, I don't know where he went.
he strangled Luigi behind the dumpster and posed as him.
Oh man.
This is
Damn. I don't see Cloud making it too much in this fight. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Like between Bison, like Bison would punch Cloud's heart out. Like
He gotta catch Cloud. Cloud's running with a whole bunch of materia on him. A whole bunch of summons on deck. Come on now, Will. A bunch of enemies.
Cloud's just blocking like this.
Okay, but you're only doing that because you just played the remake. Come on.
But now here's the question though.
Come
What
on.
is his sword made out of? Because like if it can block a lightsaber, then maybe you got a fighting chance. But if it's slicing it in half, like
Oh no.
that's it. Like can the Cloudbuster take that?
We don't know. We do not know. I'm not going to sit here and say that Cloud's Buster is made out of animanium or anything like that. We don't know. But the fact is, Pat brought a lightsaber to the fight. All right, he brought Star Killer, the ultimate OP character in all of canon history. So OP that even Pat said it himself. Star Wars was like, "Yeah, cut that nigga out. We don't want him here.
But once again, though, I had a strategy that took care of that. So I'm just letting y'all know. Like I came up with a way to get rid of him. No one else did. Green tunnel, you out the fight. Like
so, let's just say in theory. Let's just say in theory, we get to remove Mario, and we get to remove Starkiller. I'll remove Shang Tsung.
Did nobody tell you to select who you move? You don't get to pick. Let us pick who you got to get out.
No, because y'all
get
came
Shang
both
Tsung out of here.
apart.
He's done if Shang Tsung's out of here.
I disagree highly.
Here's what nobody's talking about: Shang Tsung, Cloud, Mario. Who else was on Will's team?
Bison.
Probably not Bison. Who else?
Bayonetta.
Okay, so not them. Mario, Cloud, Shang Tsung. They're not bulletproof. Wesker has them blickies on him. Mario has never been shot in the face with an actual gun. So I think that Wesker would put easy work out of all of the humans because we've seen what happens when humans go up against Wesker.
Hold on, sir. Mario is hit by bullets all the time. And
big bullet Bill, huh?
Bullet Bill.
Hey, listen. Hey, I'm just letting
The
you know.
adorable bullet with an angry face and an attitude.
A cannon shot a bullet out and it did nothing to Mario, and he stopped it. Jumped up, boom, get that bullet out of here. And you acting like Starkiller is not is like he's bulletproof. Starkiller can take a shot to the head too, and R.I.P.
But boom, 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 boom. You know he's super trained in hitting away.
Never seen him stop no bullets. Lasers, sure.
You don't think that's the same?
Nah, no.
It would incinerate.
Again, you have to catch all of them though.
Exactly. That's what he's been doing with lasers. Why is it any different?
Because you've seen how many times they shoot lasers. Lasers come at him about maybe between each laser is
don't do that. You don't know.
Oh, so we're not doing that. Oh, so y'all telling me them lasers come just as fast as a semi-automatic rifle? That's what you're telling me?
Yes, because in the Star Wars universe, there's literally chain guns that shoot lasers that are like brrrr, and there's literally ships that shoot lasers.
And so what happened when they tried dodging those? Death. You saw that in the beginning with the first saga. When they were in that big arena and they were doing that, the chick with like one of the chicks Jedis with the little tentacle things, she was doing that. Pow, dead.
She got
that's true. That's a good other example. But Starkiller though, that never happened to him, and all I'm saying is that's in his world. There are things that shoot just as fast as a gun, and lasers I feel like are worse than guns. So he's already trained. It's not something new to him.
Okay, I'll say that, but he ain't impenetrable. And just to say, if like he got a distraction from Megaman and Bayonetta throw that bullet, it's a wrap.
That's specific.
Because it doesn't say he can force on multiple people.
I believe, ladies and gentlemen, we have given all of our arguments. I think we should leave it to the fans. I think we should leave it to our listeners and our viewers. You guys let us know who came to the dark black alley fight with the best team. Who's coming out with the ultimate W? Who's saving the universe? Is it the team of Patrick Cloud? Is it the team of Will Ferrell? Or is it the team of Slick Living? Leave a comment and let us know. Tweet us. Leave a comment on our Instagrams or on the YouTube comments as well. We're listening all day, every day. There is your lineup. Shang Tsung, Cloud, and Megaman, Team 1. Bayonetta, Bison, and Mario, Team 2. Starkiller, Wesker, and Cute Kirby, Team 3.
Leave a comment. That's all I'm saying. Just know, like, it is up to y'all, the audience and the fans, but just letting y'all know. My team is going out for shawarma after all this is over. I'm just letting y'all know that. We're gonna be up in the shawarma shop.
There's shawarma in heaven? That's really, really good to know. That's really good to know. I feel like they should talk about that in church more often because that's really comforting.
Well, we know there's none in hell where your team is after taking this L.
So it pretty much means that my team will be standing right here still.
Yeah, why'd you say that?
Yours is going to hell.
It'll just be mine. No, it's fine. Well, you called it out. It'd be my team still on Earth, everyone praising them for
Wait, did
saving the
your
universe.
tape even finish the battle? I assumed it was
Oh,
between Cloud
okay,
and Zack.
okay. All
Cloud
right.
didn't show up
I-
because the trains from Midgar weren't running, so he just
Yeah.
didn't show up because he don't have a car.
I assumed
Like
like
Wesker
Megaman.
couldn't get popped by Chris Redfield. Come on, dog.
I
That's
assumed
what I
Megaman.
should have brought to the table. Like, man, but Chris would handle his ass. Get his ass out of here. Jill Valentine, can you please go take out Wesker too?
We need the people from Deathmatch
To run this up.
to
Yes.
do those like analytics.
Yes, we do. We do. But yeah, that was our boss level. I think that was a great way to come to an end of the Arcade Tokens podcast. Glad to know that this battle really led with a lot of great facts, kind of broke into a little bit of science too, which I think is something we may be able to even kind of start getting into. Can the Cloud Buster be withstand a lightsaber? I don't know. Maybe we could do some research on it and some of these other things. But thank you once again so much for joining the Arcade Tokens podcast. Make sure that you check us out on all major social platforms. Make sure you are following us on our YouTube channel, on our Twitch channel. The Twitch is twitch.tv/the Arcade Tokens. Also on our YouTube, it's Arcade Tokens, as well as our socials. Make sure you follow our individual Twitches, twitch.tv/Cleo Thomas, twitch.tv/Patrick Cloud, and then of course twitch.tv/Will Ferro. And so of course,
And Cathadius.
it is. That's what I was about to ask. I didn't know if it was Cathadius or Kalos Media, but yes, twitch.tv/Cathadius, where you can see him knocking down some of the best, hardest video games in retro history. But thank y'all for joining us. We have been the Arcade Tokens. As always, I am the anomaly Will Ferro.
Cleo Thomas, aka Mr. Slick Living.
And I'm Patrick Cloud.
And we will catch you next time.
Woo.